First at 4, Michigan is now among the states coping with coronavirus. What we have learned about the confirmed cases and the effects rippling through Metro Detroit. Paula.
If you have elder loved ones anywhere, but particularly in elder care facilities, I want you to take a look at this. This is a sign of the times, and it is critical.
Also ahead, Senator Bernie Sanders talks about the future of his campaign for the first time since losing big in Michigan. Good afternoon, Ben.
Karen, good afternoon. We got a mini warm-up on the way, and we will get colder temperatures for the weekend, but just how chilly? We'll check it out right now, first at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, the ripple effects are being felt right now after the first confirmed coronavirus cases here in Michigan. Governor Gretchen Whitmer is scheduled to hold another briefing in about an hour, and we will bring that to you live when that happens. Several local universities are changing how they do things, with various changes for students. Also, the health departments of Oakland and Wayne counties have given us updated information on those 2 local patients. So let's bring in Local 4's Dr. McGeorge, who has been here pretty much around the clock. It's been very busy. So what do we know right now?
Well, you know, for privacy reasons, Karen, they have not released a lot of details. However, we do know that one patient is a middle-aged woman residing in Oakland County who developed a classic presentation of fever, cough, and shortness of breath. Now, health officials indicate that she is doing well, but is hospitalized in respiratory isolation. Now, during a media briefing this morning, Dr. Russell Faust, the medical director of the Oakland County Department of Health, indicated she had minimal contacts within the community, but that more cases should be expected. Now, the woman from Oakland County had recently traveled out of the country.
When she traveled, the country that she traveled to had not reported any cases. And the fact that she did become infected in a place that had no cases reported just simply tells you that this is global now. It's likely everywhere.
Now, as for the second Michigan case, the Wayne County Health Department says their patient is a middle-aged man who recently traveled within the United States. No further details there were released. Now, the University of Michigan Hospital has indicated that one of the patients is hospitalized there and is in stable condition.
So what is next here? As we learn more about these patients, I assume we're going to learn that web grows because people have, in some form, interacted with them.
That's exactly it. So right now, epidemiologists are on the ground interviewing patients. If they're able to speak, they're interviewing the family members. They're trying to find all of the close contacts and trace their activities back to when they likely became contagious. Then they're going to identify all of those people and potentially use standard quarantine procedures until we see what develops with them. Now, depending on the scope of things, if there was a larger exposure, a larger scale quarantine might be necessary, perhaps a school, perhaps some other physical environment. But that's definitely something that's being considered.
And obviously, we always ask, what can we be doing? I mean, we know the basics, and I guess it's important to remind everyone.
Well, that's it. You know, a lot of this is things you should have been doing already. Hand washing, covering your coughs and colds, making sure that you don't touch your face, social distancing from yourself in public or from other people in public so that you minimize the likelihood that anybody is spreading anything. These are all things that we should be doing and that moving forward we definitely need to do, especially knowing now that it is within our community for sure.
Okay, and obviously this is changing hour by hour.
Yes.
So we will keep you hard at work.
And we will have more at 5 for sure.
Your time and your perspective is really invaluable. So thank you, Doc. We appreciate that. Michigan State University was one of the first to make some changes this morning. The school in East Lansing has decided to suspend face-to-face instruction, shifting to virtual lessons. Plus, the school is urging students to head home if they can. MSU says the school will continue to support those who cannot leave campus. Other schools, meantime, are taking similar actions. The University of Michigan is canceling classes the rest of the week and then going online Monday through at least April 21st. Central Michigan University is telling students not to return from spring break. It's moving classes online through March 20th. Michigan Tech University is moving to all classes online for the next month, and Wayne State University is extending its spring break by 1 week, with classes starting back up on March 23rd. Now, most people who contract the virus will see mild or moderate effects, but we have seen older adults, especially those with underlying health conditions, are most at risk. And that means some big changes at local nursing homes and retirement villages. Local 4's Paula Tutman takes a look at the do's and don'ts and the impact on families.
I do want to be crystal clear. There is no sign of coronavirus at this care center at all. They've been kind enough to talk to us because they want to talk about best standards. So we're talking about Wellbridge of Rochester Hills. They have facilities, care facilities throughout the metro area. The first thing you see before you walk into one of their facilities is this stop sign.
Got a notice to ask all visitors to stop, read the guidelines. For example, international travel within the last 14 days.
Don't come.
Don't come. If you're having any signs and symptoms of respiratory infection, fever, cough, sore throat, don't come in. If you pass the screening here and you haven't traveled internationally and you haven't been around somebody with it and you know the questions that we just went over, you can then now come up to the facility. We have people waiting at the reception area.
Yet when a client breezed by the signs without even noticing them, it was the barrier at the door that gave staff a chance to stop him, explain, and turn him around.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely. We'll be all right. All right, thank you.
Until further notice, family and friends of elder, sickly loved ones are being asked to stay away from nursing care facilities.
One of the things you noticed happening is we're running out of products because the public is stockpiling. Tell us a little bit about your challenges in that area.
Wendy Jones is an elder care expert and founder and CEO of Next Steps for Seniors.
You can call them by phone, you can FaceTime them, but you don't need to personally visit them.
That's got to be hard because mom and dad and grandma are here.
That's absolutely correct, and you know, spouses are here. But what we have found is that most people thank us.
It is critical that families understand that what comes in on their shoes, hands, and in their nasal passages can have deadly consequences here with vulnerable populations.
We'll be all right.
Tina has been at Wellbridge of Rochester Hills 2.5 years, and she appreciates the changes.
I'm seeing them even do more cleaning and sanitizing. Is even more going on than normal. Right away, I text family and friends yesterday to tell them that we are on lockdown, to make sure that they're not coming. They know that. We're going to Skype, so I still get to see everybody.
It's so extremely critical because the population in these facilities are the highest risk. And we cannot, as an organization, expose our residents to unnecessary risk.
Yeah, so there is a caveat. If you have an elder loved one, for instance, who's at the end stages of life, of course these care centers want to see you, but do be aware that there are other families that are involved, and so they want you to be smart about this. Think about your travel plans. Make sure you answer their questionnaires carefully as well as honestly. And in fact, if your care center is not asking your questions, or asking you questions rather, you should ask them, why on earth not? Stay with me at 6 o'clock. We know that folks have elder loved ones at home, and we're going to talk to you about how to best take care of them if you're not able to see them. Karen?
All right, very informative report. We appreciate it, Paula. We'll see you at 5. Meantime, the impact of the crisis continues to be felt all around the country as well. We're seeing drastic measures to stop the spread, and the outbreak continues to rattle our stock market. Local 4's Kimberly Gill joins us from the newsroom right now with national and international developments. Kim.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. Yes, the headline from overseas comes from the World Health Organization. That agency has declared the outbreak is now a pandemic. It says it's alarmed by the mounting infections, plus it hopes the new designation will shock some countries into doing more to fight the spread. Here in the United States, the changes keep coming. Seattle and San Francisco have banned large gatherings. Chicago has canceled its St. Patrick's Day parade, joining Boston and Philadelphia. And we are waiting for an update about Detroit's parade here. And if you're hoping warmer weather will stop the virus, one of the country's top experts says, don't count on it.
We do not know what this virus is going to do. We would hope that as we get to warmer weather, it would go down. But we can't proceed under that assumption. We've got to assume that it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, and predictions like that and the pandemic decision from the World Health Organization are definitely putting more pressure on the financial markets. Stocks have been tumbling again. Investors are waiting to see what the president and Congress can do to boost the economy. As we take a live look right now at the big board on the New York Stock Exchange, you can see the Dow closed down today, more than 1,400 points. Coming in hour by hour, we'll have more information as soon as we get it, we'll pass it along to you. We'll be back at 5 with another in-depth report. Karen, until then, we'll send it back to you in the studio. And we also want to remind you, you can always keep up to date at clickondetroit.com. We'll have information there on the health page. A lot of good information there. Karen, back to you.
All right. Always appreciate it. Thank you, Kim.
Sure.
Our coverage continues for the next 2 hours. New at 5, we are checking with local school districts to see how they're responding to concerns. And then at 6 o'clock, what about the impact on tourism and large gatherings here in Metro Detroit? Consumer investigator Hank Winchester has that part of the story. Make sure to stay with us. All right, let's take a little bit of a break, catch up on that forecast for us. And we apparently have got some things changing with a cold front moving in, Ben.
Yeah, temperatures are going to be a little bit milder here as we get into the next 36 hours. And then we're going to see everything dip as we head towards the upcoming weekend. We're in the 40s right now. Lapeer, one of the warm spots at 44, and we don't have much of a wind. Tomorrow, especially Friday, we'll start seeing those breezes increase. But for the rest of tonight, just a very slow fall into the 30s. Once we get past Thursday night, we're going to see another chance of rain before the weekend, and we'll look at what else is coming with those cooler temperatures for Saturday and Sunday, all in just a few minutes. Karen?
All right. Thank you, Ben. Still ahead, it is probably the biggest change to hit Detroit's casinos since they moved into the Motor City. We'll show you the celebration. And disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein argued for leniency. His attorneys asked for just 5 years behind bars, and the judge did not agree. Up first, Bernie Sanders makes his first comments after losing big in Michigan. What he says about staying in the race and why he thinks he can win. We'll be right back.